Oh, it's Rick Taylor.
Hey, what's up? This Swift Sloan and you watching Rap Draft.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Rick Taylor back with another episode of the Rap Draft. I got my dog Swift Sloan with me, man. What's going on?
What's up with you, bro?
Nothing much, man. Here on the Rap Draft, we like to interview artists of all kinds, not just music artists, but like actors, directors, barbers, cooks, whatever art you do. You know, It's a platform for you. And we pretty much like to give people who don't know you or your fans more of an insight on your life or let them know more about you. So with that being said, my first question for you is, where were you born and raised?
Man, right here in the city, Milwaukee.
Where did you grow up in the city?
Oh, I grew up around Atkinson, Capitol Drive area.
Now, growing up around that area and stuff like that, what was life like as a kid for you growing up?
Man, just like probably any other kid growing up in Milwaukee, it was, I guess, I wouldn't say it was impoverished, but, it was, I had a good life as a kid, It was, wasn't nothing, Milwaukee is a lot different, man, than what it was when I was growing up, it was a lot safer, you know what I'm saying? You could let your kids go outside and play and, all that kind of shit, man, run around the corner and, they'd be 3-4 blocks away, you know what I mean? But you can't really do that now, you know what I'm saying? Like, back then, people probably felt safe with letting their kids ride the bus and shit. You can't really, a lot of people really don't, I know I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's just a different layout, you know what I mean? So I would say that, Milwaukee, man, it was a lot more calmer,
Right. It was calmer because I used to hear the stories too, like my mom telling me how safe it was. Like back in the day, y'all could leave the door open. I had to worry about nobody really running in your house, or you ain't got to worry about going out and, you get into it, somebody's going to end with somebody getting killed. Yeah, the most people do is fight and they go on about their business, go have a drink and stuff. But for the people who don't know or want to know, who is Swift Sloan?
Oh, well, man, professionally, I'm a producer, director, writer of, films, movies, TV shows and stuff like that. Before I was doing that, I, was a book author. I started, my whole journey in the space of, content or creativity as an author. Started with my book series. It was called Motivation, and I did 3 installments to that, which led to, the movies and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good. That's good. Like you said something about books and stuff, because I was gonna ask you what inspired you to get into being a movie producer and making movies and things like that. Like even like you just said books and stuff. Like what inspired you to write books and get into film?
Well, man, I think what inspired me to write the books was, just to try to figure out another lane, you know what I'm saying, and just trying to kind of tap into something different, you know what I mean, than the shit that I was doing, And as far as the movies go, when I wrote my first book, I knew it was gonna be a movie. I wrote it and I was thinking that, and I said, one day it's gonna be a movie. So it was just one of them things where, you visualize some shit, man. You know what I mean? And you just go with it. You go with the flow. You figure it out.
Right. That's dope, bro. Cause I watch your movies, bro, and I'll be happy, bro, and I honestly mean that, because I'm it always feel good for me to see somebody from Milwaukee doing something, whether it's music, film, and we don't really have too many outlets for film like that here. We have it, but it's when you see them getting movies on Tubi or Amazon Prime, and wow, that's one step from Netflix or Hulu and stuff like that. So it's a big accomplishment for me, and just looking man, this person is doing a good job. So
yeah. And it's actually, I'm gonna tell you something, it's actually, as a movie producer, I'm just gonna drop some jewels on you real quick, just for the audience. A lot of people look at Netflix and they compare it to, Tubi TV and Amazon, and they like, oh, Netflix is the all be all, right? But actually, Netflix is not the deal that you want, you know what I'm saying, as a independent producer. You want to go with Tubi and Amazon and Crackle and all of those different streaming services that allow you to just put your movie on there, and then you make revenue sharing off of advertisement. You know, it's called AVOD. You know, Tubi operates like that. Netflix is a subscription service that they gonna pretty much, let's say you make a movie for 50 grand, you know, they gonna fuck you around and, you know, tell you, okay, we'll give you 65, you know, which will give you a 15% profit, which is probably, you're not even gonna make that after, you know, you talk about marketing, right? And then they're gonna lock your movie down for a year, and they're not gonna even allow you to show it nowhere else. So let me ask you this: what make more sense? Should you put it on Netflix, or should you put it on Tubi, where, you know, you can make that money you made that you put into it, you can make that back in way less time? You dig what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like, we got to be careful when we looking at these visuals, man. Like, everything you see on, you know what I'm saying, you know, on screen, Netflix is pretty much they've mastered, you know, the idea of marketing. So when you look at Netflix, you know what I'm saying, I'm not saying it ain't cool to be on Netflix, it is, but, you know, it's just one of them things where, man, you know, you gotta like really look at the deals before you just, you know, automatically say, this is what I need, this is the big deal right here, you know. I'm telling you, it's really not.
Right, because a lot of people probably look like, well, I'd rather go with Netflix because Netflix bigger, but it's like you just said, you broke it down, like, it may be big, you may think it's bigger, but it's not the smarter move to go to, you know what I'm saying? So
100%.
And a lot of people still, you know, see that and still like decide to, you know, make their judgment. But, you know, a lot of people like got to really do their research. So my next question is, what is your process of writing or a working period? Like, how do you consistently produce movies back to back?
Well, man, number one, you gotta have a team in place. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way you can do this stuff on your own. You know, I used to do a lot of my own writing, you know, when I first started off, you know, but I don't really do a lot of the writing. You know, I have writers that work with me, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, so I can focus more on the producing side, you know. But it's, you know, as far as like the process of making a movie, you know, I mean, the first thing is I always tell people, you got to come up with an idea, you know. And as a producer, you know what I'm saying, like, sometimes, you know, you can you know, you can go contract people out to do certain things as far as the writing, but you got to come up with the idea. Then after you come up with the idea, you know what I'm saying, then you got to put it in script form. After you come up with the script form, then, you know what I mean, you got to figure out, you know, the budget, the staff, and who's gonna be on the crew, and then what about the cast, and how much is all of that gonna cost you. Then you got to think about your locations. Are you gonna pay for them? You know what I'm saying? It's and that's just a little bit, right? But I cover all of this in my course, you know what I'm saying, that I just dropped on filmmaking. It's called the Swift Motion Pictures Movie Mastery Course, you know. But it covers all of that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that because it's a lot. That's a lot. You know, that's a lot to cover. Yeah. You know, I mean, we can be sitting there for a couple hours talking about that.
Right, and that's why I wanted to bring you on the show, because I knew you had an e-course and a course, like an e-book you just dropped, and a course, which was my next question. I wanted to let the people know more about it, like, or not too much about, like, where can they find it? Like, how can they get this game from you? Like,
yeah, well, you know, I mean, you can always click on my social media at Swift Sloan. You know, I'm very active on Instagram, you know, or Swift Motion Pictures. You know, that's my company page. But, you know, we got links to it on there. But outside of that, you know, it's you can go to a e-learning module system called Thinkific. You know, I mean, that's just gonna make it a lot more complicated. It's best to probably just go to my profile, click on it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take you straight to the course.
All right. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. I think that's a dope idea that you did, because it gives people who like myself who want to know more about it and want to know, like, you know, all the questions we have and get answered right in that course. So
I mean, you know, the thing is this, bro. It's just really about, you know what I'm saying, like we was talking before, man. It's about sharing the information, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you get cats, man, you know, they get the game and, you know, they want to do this shit with it, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, that's the reason why us as a people, I'm talking about black people, that's why we in the position we in now, you know, where, you know, we like, you know, some of the poorest people on the planet, but we got, you know, some of the most revenue, you know, because information, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't get the information and keep the information. You get the information and you put it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, you supposed to put that information out, because we could be, I say this a lot too, like if we shared our, you know, our connections, our knowledge, we'll be further as we, like, you know, are right now.
100%.
Because a lot, like you said, a lot of people don't want these other people to like surpass them. That's why they don't give like certain information. But it's like, why would you feel like that? Like when you can help somebody else, like create something, you know, for our whole culture. Like, you know, creating millionaires or creating new businesses and all that stuff like that, and just making more wealth for family and just allowing people to just pass, you know, the information on. Yeah. So
exactly.
I think that'd be a good idea, and we need to start doing more of that. How does it feel working with big name actors?
Well, I mean, you know, you get to learn a lot about, you know, different styles of, you know, how different people, companies, and you know, different systems work, because a lot of these actors, you know, that you work with that's been on like big Hollywood sets, you know, they have a different idea of what the production is supposed to look like, you know what I'm saying? And when I say that, I mean just the operations of every day, right? But you know, I mean, you gotta understand, you know, it's like, you know, when you going from a set where, you know, the budget might be 10 million, and then you come into a set where the budget might be 50,000, 100,000, 150,000, then, you know, it's like, of course we gonna do things different. We gonna get the job done, but, you know, I tell people a lot all the time that, you know, the difference between, you know, Hollywood and, you know, movies that we make is these movies actually make money. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of Hollywood movies, man, they really don't make money like that. Not all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you in this space that we in, the independent space, like this is the space to be in, because long as you own in 100% of your stuff, you know what I'm saying, and you got a nice quality work, you know, the actor is going to actually get, you know, better exposure in terms of, you know, success, you know what I mean? Because you can actually probably be in more movies like this versus Hollywood. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, you know, and I mean, I'm saying that because, you know, if you think about a Hollywood movie, if you constantly getting a rotation for these movies, you got to be bringing in revenue. People got to really like these movies. So if the movie fails, then your name is attached to that. You know what I'm saying? But in this space right here, you know, it's like, I'm just being honest, man. It's when you think about the content that we making, you know, our people want to see this, because we the ones that's telling the story. So if our people going to these networks, these streaming services, and they watching these movies, then that means that the revenue is coming in. That's gonna keep these actors working. So, I mean, I know I said a lot right there, but I just was trying to, you know, kind of clarify, you know, the importance. One of the things that I try to come across with, you know, when I'm negotiating contracts with the actors, and, you know, try to get them to understand that, because a lot of them, you know, it's kind of difficult to do that, you know, but it's just about really meeting everybody, meeting at a mutual ground, and you getting them to understand the difference between that versus this.
Right. How or when do you usually do your casting calls?
Usually do the casting calls right after we get the final draft on the script. You know, right after we know for a fact, okay, this is the last draft on the script, and we're not probably ain't gonna be doing no rewrites, because you don't never know. You know what I'm saying? You might have to go change something. But right after we get the final draft, and the reason why, because once you start doing the casting, then you got to start sending out the sides. You got to start sending out the lines to the actors, so they know what their role is going to be. So, you know, you definitely don't want to put the cart before the horse.
Right. Now, since you've been doing like producing films and stuff like that, what are the pros and cons that you experienced, if you experienced any?
In terms of what?
Like just producing a movie or working with certain people or just...
Well, I mean, you know, as far as producing, I think that I don't really know. I mean, you know, me, I'm just gonna say this, man. Like, I like what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna keep it real with you, bro. Like, I wouldn't want to do nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't really know. Like, I don't really see no cons in it. You know, because, you know, I'm not in a situation where I'm asking somebody for permission. You know what I mean? So when I'm doing this, I'm doing something that I want to do. So when you weighing out your options, you weighing out what you doing, you know, versus the good versus the bad. You know, I would say that the only con would be that you finna put all this money out and then you gotta wait to get it back. You know what I'm saying? But just to go back to what you were saying in the beginning, you know, when you're talking about putting all these movies out, that's why you want to keep the movies constantly going. You want to constantly keep your productions rolling. That way you constantly got revenue coming in at certain points of the year, you know, where you constantly making money. But as far as the con, you know, like, that's probably the biggest one. Just, you know, you putting a chunk of money out there and, you know, you just making sure, you know, because you're constantly on edge, making sure that everything going smoothly, because at the end of the day, when you on this set, you know, the only motherfucker that is going to take a hit is you, because you don't want bankrolling everything, you know what I mean? So you got to keep that in mind, right? As a producer, you know what I mean? As an executive producer. As far as the pros go, I mean, man, you know, it's always lovely when you own shit. You know, I mean, it ain't no different than real estate. You know, really, you know, movies is just like real estate. You know what I mean? It's like you make residual money from that. You know, it's just like if you own the rights to, you know, all your movie, that's just like you owning a piece of property. That's just like you having the masters into some music. And that's why I tell brothers who, you know, once again, in the rap space, man, like, you know, this shit really go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different product. So, you know, that's probably the, you know, the best piece to it, man, is the fact that you know you own something that you will always own, as long as you don't sell it, and you can pass it down to your kids and they can pass it down to their kids and stuff like that.
Right, I definitely agree with that. Have you asked any rappers to like be in some of your films or give them an audition or tryout or something?
Yeah, all the time, man. You know, you know, I think I'm trying to think. We had one of the local guys in one of the rappers here in Untangled. He played a role, and that's the one that we got right now in post production that we just shot. I'm trying to think. Circumstances one. I know it was somebody. It had to be somebody in there, man. But you know, all of, like, if you look at the soundtrack, the Circumstances 2. You look at the soundtrack, you know, all of that's mainly Milwaukee artists. You know what I'm saying? And you know, C3 Circumstances 3. We got you know, we brought a lot of the same characters back. You know what I mean? But we got a big project we gonna be doing next year, and you know, I'm looking to like really bring in a lot of more people from the city in there. You know what I mean? And you know, put some people in rotation.
That's dope, bro. Congratulations on your success and all that.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Now I have just 2 questions left.
Go ahead.
What's your goal with you producing movies, like? Or like just like, what are you trying to, what is your goal for the city, like, just by producing movies? And
I'm gonna tell you, man, my goal is, you know, for this city, man, is, you know, like you know, because I got a documentary that we did called Line 43, right? And it's pretty much about the history of segregation and redlining in Milwaukee, you know what I'm saying? And it you know, it dives into, right now we shopping for distribution and we just trying to figure out situations, but it dives into, you know, the history of the city and why black people is in a position that they in. Like, I ain't never want to make excuses, but at the end of the day, man, let's, you know, I'm gonna call a spade, you know what I mean? So it's, you know, that right there. I'm proud of that, man, because that ties into your question. You know what I want to do, you know, whether it's a social justice piece, whether it's a movie or whatever, even with Circumstances, with the Circumstances series, you know, it's a series about, you know, people in underprivileged areas in Milwaukee that's trying to make a way out of something, out of nothing, and they don't know no other way to do it. So they don't have an understanding. Like me and you both know that goes on around here every day. You know what I'm saying? Because of lack of resources, lack of information, and then when you walking out of your house every day and you looking at all of this, you know, these trashy areas, man, it's like that it diminishes your hope. So what I'm looking to do, you know what I'm saying, is I'm gonna always be that guiding light, you know what I'm saying, for my city, to show people that, hey man, guess what? You can do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Whether you come from this or you come from that, whatever you come from. So, you know, it's like we gotta have people, man, that's gonna be, you know, in these spaces, that's leading the charge, man, you know what I'm saying, with these torches, and we speaking the way that we speak, and we, you know, we looking to uplift, you know what I'm saying, people. So, you know, my goal is, you know what I'm saying, for the world to be able to see, you know, the talents that we got in the city, man, to see that what we able to do, and to also inspire, you know what I'm saying, people that's coming up to be able to do the same thing.
Right. I think you're doing a good job with that too, bro. Like, you're giving a lot of people hope. Like you said, like myself, I watch your films and I'll be like, man, I could do the same thing. Like what he doing, I could do the same thing, and that's what I'm trying to do. So, much love to you, bro.
Appreciate it.
No problem. My final question for you, I ask everybody who come on this show this question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Where do I see myself in 5 years? That's a good question. Well, you know, my goal, you know what I'm saying, is to get 10 projects under my belt. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I definitely, I know I'm going to have that done, you know what I'm saying, by the end. But that's definitely a goal. And the reason why it's a goal, because, you know, like I said, once again, it's about the residuals. You know what I mean? You want to be able to have mailbox money. You know what I'm saying? And you know, one thing I'm going to tell people out there, man, you know, it's like we doing what we doing because we love what we doing, but at the end of the day, man, everybody got to eat. So don't never let nobody tell you, oh, man, don't think about the money. You know, at the end of the day, man, guess what? If you're a grown man or you're a grown woman and you got kids to feed, you know what I'm saying, I don't care what nobody talking about, any corporation in this country, that's the bottom line, right? So it's about doing what you want to do. So me, you know, it's just that right there, to keep on putting these points on the board, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, you know, we working on bigger deals, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, man, I got, you know, some projects that we working on for some networks and whatnot, you know, and, you know, I'm sure by then, you know what I'm saying, we gonna have a lot more opportunities for the city, you know what I'm saying, to open up a lot of different doors, you know what I mean, that ain't even open right now, you know what I mean, because I'm just one of them people that, you know what I'm saying, I think I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. You know what I'm saying? If you put your mind to it, you can do it, right? Yeah.
Well, I definitely feel that, bro. Like, if you on the right path, bro, like you doing your thing, you're doing a good job, you producing these movies, you got the city behind you, tuned in, you got me tuned in, and I wish you the best of luck. And like I said, keep doing you, bro. Don't worry about what nobody say. Don't even worry about like the time and none of that. Like, you in your own lane, stay in your own lane, keep doing what you're doing, and just stay down for the grind. And everything is definitely gonna unfold for you. I see it. You know what I'm saying? So I thank you for coming on the show and appreciate you for answering these questions and stuff.
Oh man,
yeah, much
appreciate
love.
you, bro.
Much love.
Yep.